a lot. I mean, it was like I don't even remember how the order was. I don't even know who got suplexed off the top.
It wasn't. It was Jason Jordan.
It was Jason Jordan. Sure was.
Because
It was Jason Jordan.
That was when Elias jumped on the top rope to try to suplex him, and the Miz Taraj knocked Elias out the ring. Mm-hmm. So both Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas got on both sides to try and suplex them. But then Matt and Jeff Hardy got under the legs of Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas. And then that whole tower, 5-man suplex,
fell on down, man.
Yeah, I love when they do that. Like once I saw Bo and Curtis come up, I kind of saw it coming, but I always love to see it. That's always. But I always
be scared for the person that's got
at the top.
The person who's Jason Jordan coming off. A lot can go wrong. Somebody slips or something happens. You got a lot of bodies there at one time. I think the risk of injury goes up higher. But I love to see those kind of like quadruple.
Yeah.
You know,
but you know what at that moment, what I kind of wanted to see happen, just because I know Jason Jordan's pretty athletic, is for him when they once they started falling, he flipped over, like he fully went over and landed.
Yeah, that would
have been something nice to see. But I mean, like I said, I still like that happening. But when it was in the process of the moment, I saw that in the back of my mind, like, oh, what if that happened?
Yeah, that was a big moment for me again. The Northern Lights suplex, like anytime he does that move, it's a beautiful move. And like I said, the energy it takes to reset and re-pick up and slam and then finish in a bridge, like a pinning formation.
Because now you're picking
They should still let him win with that. Like that should be his finisher. Like there's no need to pull off a move like that and then not score the win. Because how he won was like
it's some little
he won with a little
pick up. It's like he picks him up, throws him, and then he turns to do a neck breaker or something like that. Yeah. I
really think that Northern Lights should be his.
Yeah, the double Northern Lights is really nice.
That should be his finisher.
Yeah. So.
But, I mean, they broke up that. And the funny thing was, like, how the Miz had jumped in, took Jeff Hardy out of the ring.
Right.
And then he cheap shot at Jordan. He took Jeff Hardy out of the ring. I'm sorry. Then he threw, like, Jason Jordan into the crowd, I guess, to try to lessen his chances.
Yeah, he beat him up first.
Yeah. And then he interrupted Jeff Hardy. But I'm like, for the Miz, you don't want one of the Miz Taraj to win because then that's going to cause separation in your faction. And then you already heard how they was talking earlier, like, hey, if I win, I'm going to give you the match, So he.
But I think in Miz's mind, he was like, he already manipulated them to be his Miz Taraj. So if they were to win, he can talk to him and manipulate them enough to say,
roll over,
we can do a good little match, but in the end, we know who's supposed to win.
Gotcha.
So I think that was the whole thing. Because if they were like, all right, here's a kind of a fantasy idea. If one of the Miz Taraj was to win, of course, throughout the week, the Miz would be trying to persuade them to say, hey, just take the fall. Mm-hmm. And then what could happen is, when he's trying to get him to take the fall, the Miz starts getting mad because he hasn't given up yet, and he just starts trying to beat on them. And then that's when the Miz Taraj turns on the Miz, and then they can one of them can take the championship, whoever's facing him in the match. But then, like once again, Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel aren't really they're not relevant competitors, so that wouldn't have worked in either one of their favors for them to win it because they would have just lost it.
Yeah, I think that was just again to just get enough people in a segment on the show.
Another 6-person, multi-person match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just not a big fan of these types of matches. This one was not bad, but we saw a lot of the Miz Taraj working together, and we saw the Hardys working together. And Elias, this was kind of the outlier, him and Jason Jordan kind of fending for themselves. But again, I do like Elias. I think he has a lot of promise coming forward. But then just to kind of conclude on it, Miz, after Jordan won with the neckbreaker pin Axel for the win, the Miz pretty much gets face to face with Jordan, kind of looks at him and does his little I'm better than you clap.
Little celebrity clap.
Yeah, celebrity clap. And he tries to cheap shot him. Like, nobody's going to fall for that. Like, because you turn, there's no way you're going to turn for me then.
Right.
I'm not going to fall for that. So, when he tried to cheap shot him, took 2 suplexes, and then, the Miz Taraj gangs up on him. Miz hits him with the skull-crushing finale. And then what Miz says at the end, like I said, this is what makes him who he is. If you want to go into it, you can. Or did you write it down? What he said?
Got a couple. I think I got it. Yeah, because he basically said at the end of Sunday, I'll still be Intercontinental Champion. Kurt Angle will still be a horrible father. And then I forgot what he said to Jason Jordan.
You will still be a bastard.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That
was just like, that's why the Miz is so great at what he does. His ability on the mic to just really make a storyline like come to life type thing. And when he said that, it was just like, wow. And like I said, that could prelude to him and Angle. Like you said, obviously, that could prelude.
It's just he's taking too many shots at Kurt Angle,
and I think Kurt is going to finally get tired of it. Yeah, and Kurt may even want to step down as Raw GM, and get back just to win the Intercontinental title one more time.
And this is one of a plug
Jordan versus Angle too.
It could be. That could possibly come down the line. And this was actually one of the angles that I heard from Wrestle Talk TV when Kurt Angle and Jason Jordan thing first started happening and the Miz got involved, was that Jason Jordan was going to win, whenever he gets the opportunity, which is kind of, I don't know how I feel about it when we do the prediction still. But this is just the angle that they gave. And it's like he wins, and then the Miz just goes the Angle over and over and keeps complaining. And then Angle himself gets tired of it. And so that somehow makes Angle kind of want to step down to fight the Miz, because you see now how the Miz is taking so many shots at his parenting things. Like, it's only going to be too much before Angle starts really taking it like his real kids and adding to that fire. So that would be an interesting angle on it. No pun intended. But I don't know. I really don't know how they're going to do it, but just the way that the Miz finds any opportunity to just talk about Kurt Angle being a bad father just feels like it's inevitable for it to happen.
Yeah, for sure. So overall, as this being a go-home show, I really don't think that it was really a strong build to say, hey, No Mercy's this Sunday. It didn't leave us hanging like, oh, I'm ready for No Mercy. I'm wondering what's going to happen next.
Right.
Like, they didn't leave us with like a cliffhanger, like, what's to come Sunday. So, I mean, I really wasn't enthused by this show overall. It really wasn't a good show. The only big moments you really had was nothing really. I mean, other than Strowman beating up Enzo, it really wasn't.
Yeah,
it was just like a blah show.
It was pretty much the same thing over and over. Like, it was nothing new, no new angle to it. I would have liked to see Finn Balor kind of come out and attack Bray one last time. Like, there was no real passion between everybody. Like, the only real passion that I could feel going into it would be in the tag division, Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose versus Sheamus and Cesaro. And even that is still being hindered by the fact that they're just trying to find a place to put Gallows and Anderson. Because even though
you can't really get invested in it.
Right, because they're in it and it's like you're not really a part of it right now. Which I'm glad, because I'm tired of seeing them just throw the same 2 tag matches over and over. So I'm glad they're involved, but still you're just pushing something on us. And it's really, it drains it. It drains the feeling of that feud.
Yeah. So that kind of concludes Raw. Do you kind of want to go into No Mercy picks, or you want to go into SmackDown Live and then do our No Mercy picks, however you want to do it?
I feel like we should, even though No Mercy is a Raw brand pay-per-view, I feel like we should just go ahead and recap SmackDown just because that comes next.
Okay.
And then since that will be done with wrestling as a week, and then that's kind of goes into the next week for predictions.
Yeah, true. So okay. So we can do it that way. So we got into an in-depth segment with Monday Night Raw.
Always.
Raw is the 3-hour show, so we do have a lot more to cover than what we normally would with a SmackDown Live. So I'm assuming we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll kind of get into SmackDown Live. Definitely anxious to see how Shane McMahon is going to respond to Kevin Owens' attack on his father. Also, the U.S. title match recap between AJ Styles and what's his name?
Baron Corbin.
Baron Corbin, the cheapskate Baron Wolf. Corbin. I'm sorry, the Lone Wolf. Baron Corbin. How dare I forget his name?
It's all right.
And then we'll have we learned some other things on SmackDown Live. Charlotte is back. So we'll get into some of those things when we come back with this Sports Moods, 2 Moodys.
One duty.
Sports.
We'll be back after this, guys.